Because you know you're complete in the eyes of God, it doesn't matter what the world would say. Ano ang nagmamatter? It's what God has built in you through His fellowship with Him and Jesus and with one another. Kaya ngayon, kahit sabihin nila, na yung simbahan nyo, parang kulto yun, araw-araw na lang kayo nagmimito, ano? Would that even matter? No. Because you're devoted to God. Tayo nga, tinatawag nga natin yung iba na ganun eh. Because they're devoted to what they believe in. Tayo, mahihiya pa tayo eh. Pinanghahawakan nga natin yung katotohanan. Nahihiya pa tayo. Matatakot pa tayo. Kung ano sabihin nila. So kaya, sabi ko, wow, when you develop this wholehearted love for God, understanding your fellowship with Him, it makes all the difference. Kaya, is there joy in your life today? Yun yung question ko. Is there joy in your life today? Or is joy lacking in your life? You gotta evaluate. Is joy lacking? Maybe you have to rephrase. Maybe you have to redefine happiness and joy. Dahil baka yung happiness, ginagawa mong joy. Kasi nga, tandaan nyo to, in this world, we will have problems. Pero sabi ni Kristo, take heart, I have overcome the world. So when you have fellowship with Jesus, you'll overcome this world, whatever circumstance. But ask yourself that question. Is there joy in your life today? Is there joy in your life right now as I speak? I hope there is. Kanina nung nakita ko yung Christian dito, si Luigi, there's so much joy in him. Kaya nga, good news. Okay lang. Si Ryan, there's joy. Not because may baby siya. Why? Because he has a relationship with God. Coming up here, serving, doing things for God, that won't be a problem. Why? Because you have so much joy that you want to give. Give. Baka abusuhin nila ako. Does it even matter? When you have joy, you just give. You don't even think. You just give. Because that is what God did. He gave. At yun yung meron tayo ngayon. Kaya nga as I close, itong verse 1 to verse 4, okay, according to scholars, is one long sentence sa kanyang original manuscript. So kapag binasa mo yung verse 1 to verse 4, isang basahan siya. Isang sentence. It's a long sentence. Jesus began with the beginning, eternal God who was before all things, and then He told us that God was physically manifested, and then He told us that this God is the Word of life, the Logos, which is Jesus Christ. He told us that God is distinct from the person of God the Father and God the Son. He told us that we may have fellowship with this God, and introduced that we may have fellowship with this God, that we are often introduced into fellowship with God by the fellowship with God's people. And then He told us this eternal existence of God in the Word of life, who was physically present with the disciples and others, is God the Son named Jesus Christ. And He told us that fellowship with Jesus leads to a life in fullness of joy. One sentence. And in this one sentence, we could say, these 4 verses, John gave us enough to live our whole Christian life on. Now, if we can even challenge ourselves to memorize this is the key to wholeheartedness, our fellowship with God. The very heart of fellowship. The very heart of fellowship, our fellowship with God. And when this fellowship is built, this fellowship that we have is built as well. And when this fellowship that we have is built, I hope and pray that those who come into our doors, that those who come into fellowship with you, whether you are a young Christian or an old Christian, they will have an experience with God. And they will have an encounter with God. Na even if may struggle na Christian, and then they encounter you, they have fellowship with you, may strengthen yung struggling o weak Christian na yon. Because of your fellowship with Jesus and God. So mga kapatid, I hope and pray na ngayon, as we challenge one another to once again be part of our face-to-face worship service and devotional, We understand the heart na it's not just kinakailangan mag-face-to-face. If you're studying the Bible, why you have to be encouraged to attend the face-to-face gatherings, whether it's congregational or your sector. Kasi nga, isipin nyo to, baka you can be committed kapag malapit sa iyo yung worship. Paano pag dito sa Delpa? Kaya nga sabi ko nung nag-congregate tayo, nung nag-St. Jude, sabi ko, yung mga taga-Dasma noon, lagi nga sila na malayo, napunta sila rin sa Imus. O yung mga taga-Bacoor, doon tayo nag-congregate, tayo naman pumunta ron. Okay lang. Why? No problem. Why? Because we have fellowship with God and with each other. Whether you're a Christian or you're studying the Bible, you will have fellowship. Kahit saan dito sa buong Cavite. Naalala ko nga sabi ni Richard Cisneros Buti magaling na siya ngayon, Sam? Sabi ni Richard, kahit saan yan, basta Cavite. Di ba, bro? Handa natin nung nagsisimula sa Cavite. Kahit saan yan, basta Cavite. Cavite Church tayo So kahit saan sa Cavite yan, kung mag-congregate tayo sa Dasma o sa Bacoor o baka mag-congregate tayo sa Tagaytay, Tamiya, alam ko Tamiya, laruan yun Pero, kahit saan sa Cavite. For a Christian, who had fellowship with God, Jesus, and one another, that won't be a problem. And in fact, it shouldn't be a problem. Bakit? Tignan nyo nga, problema nga natin, dami natin sasakyan. Problema nga natin, parking. Eh noon nga, wala namang sasakyan. Si Armando, nagbabike. Pupunta ng Imus, ngayon, may motor, may van. Do I need to say more? Are we going to have problems with our face-to-face fellowship or services? When we understand the heart behind it, the heart of fellowship, this place will always be filled up. Our worship services will always be filled up. People will always be there. At kapag nangyari yun, God's name is glorified. Yun po yung lesson to God be the glory. Amen.
Palakpakan po natin ang ating Panginoon at ang ating kapatid na si Bong sa pagbibigay sa atin ng mensahe na maibalik tayo doon sa mga bagay na dapat nating gawin. Yung pagmamahal sa ating Panginoon at yung pagmamahal natin sa bawat isa. Amen po ba? Kaya nga po, ang intensyon ni God sa ating lahat ay magkaroon ng relasyon sa bawat isa sa atin. Nilikha niya tayo dahil mahal niya tayo. Tama po ba? Kaya po tayo nandito, di ba? Kaya dapat natin siyang mahalin ng buong pagkatao natin. Dapat ganon yung response natin sa pagmamahal ng ating Panginoon sa atin. Kaya hinirang ng Diyos ang Ama. Kaya, sabi nga rito, kayo'y hinirang ng Diyos Ama ayon sa kanyang kaalaman upang pabanalin ng Espiritu Santo upang maging masunurin kay Kristo at maging malinis sa bisa ng kanyang pagkamatay sa cross, di ba? Kaya nga ang imbitasyon sa atin ng ating Panginoon na dapat nating purihin ng Diyos ng buong puso, di ba? Dahil sa laki ng habag niya sa atin. Kaya nga nakakatuwa kahit pagod ka, di ba? Dahil excited kang pumunta sa simbahan, pag nakita mo yung bawat isa sa atin, nakakawala ng pagod, di ba? Kahit malayo pa yung pinanggalingan mo. Alam ko, yung bawat isa sa atin dito ay galing sa mga trabaho, di ba? Pagod, pero mas pinili pang pumunta rito para makapakinig ng salita ng Diyos at para ma-encourage ng bawat isa sa atin. Tama po ba? Kaya dapat nating tawag dito yung i-grab natin yung fellowship ng ating Panginoon at ng bawat isa sa atin. Talagang kahit anong sitwasyon na meron tayo, pag nakikita natin ng bawat isa sa atin, lumalakas tayo. 'Di ba marinig natin na nabaptize yung anak ni Wency, 'di ba? Yung ditong young Christian na talagang nagsi-share ng good news, 'di ba? Nakakatuwa 'yon. Dahil 'yon sa habag at awa ng ating Panginoon. Bong, maraming salamat sa mensahe. Ito po'y babaunin ko sa aking pagtulog at nanamnamin ko nang sa ganon ay patuloy na mabago yung aking buhay. Amen? To God be the glory.
Amen. Tayo po'y tumayo lahat para sa ating final song. Abitin natin. Kantang Only God.
Low. Amen. Yeah.
Only God can make me happy. my fears. Only God can fill my inside. Only God can wipe my tears.
Only God can wipe
Come on,
my
church.
tears.
Anywhere I go, I know you're with me. Anything I do with you, there's victory, there's no other way. Today, only God. Anytime I fall, you hear me. Every time I cry, the light, you cheer me. Nothing I can say, but hey, only God. Only God can make me certain. Only God will light the way. Only God gives hope and darkness. Only God turns night to day. Remember, church? Anywhere I go, I know you're with me. Anything I do with you, there's victory, there's no other way. Today, only God. Anytime I fall, you hear me. Every time I cry, so light, you cheer me. Nothing I can say, but hey, only God. Only God knows what's tomorrow. Only God through space and time. Only God can give the victory. Only God can save mankind. Anywhere I go, I know you're with me. Anything I do with you, there's victory, there's no other way. Today, only God. Anytime I fall, you hear me. Every time I cry, so light, you cheer me. Nothing I can say, but hey, only God. One more time, come on. Anywhere I go, I know you hear me. Everything I do with you, there's victory, there's no other way. Today, only God. Anytime I fall, you hear me. Every time I cry, no lie, you cheer me. Nothing I can say, but hey, only God. Only God can make me happy. Woo! Amen, church! Ito po nagtatapos yung ating devotional. We're all dismissed.